Good morning, everyone. Myself, I am Dr. Amindira. I am dealing the course Probiotics and Functional Foods. This is a honor subject. So this course provides the knowledge on particularly probiotics and prebiotics which are used in the food products. Not only this, it enables the students to analyze different microorganisms as starter cultures for development of food products and also biopreservatives usage in the control of food spoilage. And it enlightens the novel strategies for controlling the foodborne pathogens. Come to the lecture one, that is Introduction to Probiotics and Probiotic Microorganisms. So, what are probiotics? Any idea about probiotics? Probiotics is derived from the Greek word that is for life. Several meanings are there. So, first it was used by Lilly and Stilwell in 1965. He described that substances which are secreted by microorganisms which stimulated the growth of the another. So this statement was given by Lilly and Stilwell. Later, Fuller in 1989, he redefined the probiotics term, that is the definition as a live microbial feed supplement which beneficially affects the host animal by improving its intestinal microbial balance. Later, WHO defined that probiotics are the live microorganisms when administered in adequate amounts into the host. So it confers the health benefits on the host. So this definition was given by the World Health Organization. So the most common types of probiotic bacteria are the Lactobacillus genera as well as the Lactobacillus genera. So these are the different probiotic organisms and different probiotic products and their health benefits in the gut system. Come to the history of this probiotics. So these are the first foods contain the live microorganisms. This is the evidence present in the Old Testament of the Bible. So there they use the microorganism for fermenting the milk. Later, before Christ, so the Sumerians are also practiced the inoculating the milk with microorganisms. So it initiates the fermentation process and produces the fermented milk. So the consumption of fermented foods was observed in the ancient Greeks as well as the Romans also. So Eli Metcalfe, he is the scientist at Pasteur Institute. So he was a Nobel Prize awardee, and he mentioned that consumption of lactic acid bacteria in fermented milk products promotes the health and prolongs the life by improving the intestinal microbial balance. Not only this, he hypothesized that particularly the Bulgarians, they were healthy and lived long because of the consumption of this fermented milk products, which consists of the Lactobacillus species. And in the Middle Ages, the fermented milk and cheese was mainly produced at the abbeys and convents, and they appear in the Crusaders' chronicles. We can see the fermented milk and cheese products in these chronicles. And we can also find this Bulgarian shepherds and then Hindus, Kalmuchi in France, Julu, the Russian, the other peoples of Ottoman Empire. They practiced this fermentation process and they developed the probiotic products. In 1906, the French Society, Les Fermentés, they began to market a particular product. The product name is yogurt. So it was sold as a yogurt in 1925. So the product was marketed in Europe as well as the America. So this is the timeline of the development of the probiotic starts from ancient period to current year. So if you see the main important timelines of the evolution of the probiotic, Eli Metcalfe is the foundation for identifying the probiotic organisms and developing the concept of the beneficial microbes. Later in 1953, Werner Pollard, he developed the term probiotic. Lilly Stilwell produced the first definition of probiotic. Later, Parker used this probiotic for our organisms which causes the microbial balance in the gastrointestinal tract. And then Fuller, he has given the notion of living microbial complement appeared. Later, WHO and the Food and Administrative Organization, they defined the probiotics, and International Scientific Association for Probiotics and Prebiotics. They slightly modified the definition of the probiotics. According to WHO, probiotics are live microorganisms which, when administered in adequate amounts, they confer the health benefits on a host. Whereas International Scientific Association for Probiotics and Prebiotics, they modified this definition and they have provided like live microorganisms that when administered in the adequate amounts confers the health benefit on the host. In 1920, Minoru Shirota, he is the Japanese microbiologist at the University of Kyoto. He discovered that some bacteria of the intestinal flora, they contribute to the bacterial pathogens defense. So he called as LC Shirota. LC means Lactobacillus casei. So in 1935, the Japan began the production of beverage. The beverage is nothing but the Yakult. So it is a probiotic drink, so made by fermenting a mixture of skimmed milk with a special strain of Lactobacillus casei shirota, which was identified by the scientist Minoru Shirota. So it was used throughout the world. And in 1953, Kolat and Verigo in 1954 were probably the first. They introduced the term probiotic, and later it was used by Lilly and Stilwell. And according to them, these are the substances which stimulate the growth of the other microorganisms. Generally, what probiotics do? So these probiotics, they are the food products when consumed by the humans or other animals. So it improves the properties of microflora and balances the gastrointestinal microbiome. So the beneficial bacteria, they stay in the gut system and improves the health of the host. So it strengthens the body's natural defense mechanism by promoting the beneficial bacteria and then suppressing the pathogenic organisms or harmful bacteria inside the gut system. And not only this, they attach it to the intestinal mucosa, where they start producing the metabolic products like acids and then hydrogen peroxide and antimicrobial peptides like bacteriocins, examples lactocidin, acidophilin. So these products, they exhibit antibiotic properties and they kill the pathogenic microorganisms present in the gut system. So it exhibits antimicrobial activity against yeast, mold, and bacteria also. So apart from these antimicrobial compounds, they produce essential metabolites, and those metabolites helps in the digestion process and produces the short chain fatty acids like acetic acid, propionic acid, butyric acid, lactic acid, and formic acid. Generally, these acids, they reduces the pH in the stomach as well as the intestine. During fermentation in the colon by these microflora, the short chain fatty acid production, it helps a lot the prevention of the colorectal cancer. And they treat the dysbiosis. So dysbiosis is nothing but the imbalance of the microbiome present in the gastrointestinal tract and as well as the gut. So relieves various disorders like IBD, IBS, diabetes, cancer, gut, vaginal itching, and then skin, oral areas where the bad breath, upset stomach, and diarrhea. These are treated so by probiotic microorganisms. So these probiotics, they helps balance the good as well as the bad microflora present in the gut system and keeps your body healthy and properly functioning. Come to the probiotic microorganisms. So what are these probiotic bacteria? So what are these beneficial bacteria? So if you see, many microorganisms are involved in probiotics that shows no harmful effects on humans. But basically, the genera are the lactobacillus. This is the first and largest group of microorganisms identified as a probiotic organism. So bifidobacterial genera, Saccharomyces, Streptococcus, Enterococcus, E. coli, as well as the Bacillus. So in this lactic acid bacteria, lactobacillus is there, Streptococcus thermophilus, and bifidobacterial species. These are the commonly used probiotic organisms in the industry. Come to the lactic acid bacteria. Generally, these lactic acid bacteria are the carbohydrate fermenters, which are gram-positive, aerotolerant, non-spore forming bacteria, and produces the lactic acid, which is essential product of the fermentation. So this lab is mainly used industrial scale where it produces the lactic acid, that lactic acid, as well as the lactic acid bacteria used in the dairy as a starter culture and for making the milk powders, yogurt, soft and semi-hard cheeses, and then ice creams. And not only those dairy products, non-dairy products such as malt-based beverages, fruit juices are also available for lactose intolerant people. So the development of soy-based probiotic foods has prompted the market nowadays. So consumers can obtain probiotic lab strains from both traditional fermented foods as well as the dietary supplements. Nowadays, these dietary supplements are available in the market. So they also provide the probiotics as well as the prebiotics. These products, they provide an appropriate environment for growth and survival of the probiotics. These are the common species comes under the lactic acid bacteria group. So those are Lactobacillus rhamnosus, Lactobacillus paracasei, Lactobacillus casei, Lactobacillus leviticus, Lactobacillus delbrueckii, Lactobacillus johnsoni, Lactobacillus crispatus, Lactobacillus gasseri, pentosus, and so on. So these probiotics, they contain the lactic acid bacteria from genera such as Streptococcus, Lactococcus, Enterococcus, Leuconostoc, Propionibacterium, and Pediococcus. If you see some of the examples of these probiotics and their important role, so if you see the Lactobacillus delbrueckii subspecies bulgaricus, so and Streptococcus thermophilus, they are used in the milk fermentation and important for the dairy products, particularly the yogurt. And Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG, this is clinical purpose used for maintaining the intestinal immunity. And these lactobacillus species generally isolated from breast milk, meat, pineapple waste, and tomato juices. And Lactobacillus plantarum and fermentum, these are the plant-derived lactic acid bacteria like papaya, yam, cassava, sugarcane, and taro leaves. This plantarum isolated from soybean and Turkish beverages like boza and fruit juices also. Lactobacillus plantarum and brevis, they isolated from dry sausage. And Leuconostoc species and Lactobacillus species, they isolated from sauerkraut fermentation. Enterococcus obtained from fermented crustaceans and fishes. Plantarum pentosus and then paracasei, they isolated from green oils. Mesenteroids and pentoses isolated from dark olives. These are some of the examples of lactic acid bacteria isolated from various sources. Come to the bifidobacterium. The most common bifidobacterial species are the bifidobacterium brevi and bifidobacterium bifidum and bifidobacterium animalis and lactis. These are the examples of the bifidobacterium. Not only lactic acid bacteria and bifidobacterium, yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Saccharomyces boulardii are the commonly used probiotics which are available in the market. Other probiotics are also there. Those are Bacillus coagulans, Bacillus subtilis, and Bacillus classic. And what are the sources of these probiotics? Already we discussed in the previous slide. So here, if you see the various sources like salt, duck bread and yogurt, then mango kefir, commercial pickles, pickled onions, pickled beets, pickled cucumbers, cultured buttermilk, fermented fishes, apple cider vinegar, kimchi, cheese, and deli meats, and then kombucha, and then sauerkraut, miso, and unfermented foods like milk, juices, smoothies, cereals, nutrition bars, and infant and toddler formulas. Nowadays, dietary supplements are available in capsules, powders, and liquids. These are the various sources of probiotics you can consume for good health. And fermented food generally obtained by growth and metabolic activity of the beneficial microorganisms. And the fermented foods are the yogurts, pickles, and these contain the beneficial bacteria, so they provide the health benefits. So they survive in the entire duration of the shelf life in the product. So unfermented foods like juices, nutrition bars, and they also contain the microorganisms which are used as a probiotics. Nowadays, dietary supplements available in capsules, powders, and they also contains probiotic microorganisms. So these medicines, when you consume, they boost the immunity of the digestive tract and enhances the absorbment of the nutrients from digested food and controls the diarrhea and balances the your gut system. And the ingredients used, for example, one dietary supplement that is the Bifilac capsule. So it is a mixture of the lactobacillus porogenes, Streptococcus faecalis, Clostridium lubricum, and Bacillus mesentericus. So thank you.